So good day to everyone. Thanks for inviting me to the STEM forum today. And I'll talk about the key opportunities and challenges that Ukraine will face during the rebuild period after the war. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Kateryna Halkina and I'm from Ukraine. I'm doing now MBA here in Exeter, and I have already done my master's degree in project management and also bachelor's in finance back in Ukraine earlier. I came here a year ago and as a refugee, and I was hosted. I live even now with a host family in Devon region. I'm finishing my MBA degree with a focus on sustainability, I also participated as a student in a lot of programs that were sponsored by European Union. So I truly believe in educating leaders from young age. Therefore, I would like to express my gratitude to British International Education Association for creating this competition for young leaders to be involved in the design of sustainability solutions. So to set the scene, let's look at the situation in Ukraine. On the maps here on the left, you will see territories that were occupied and how the situation changed in 1 year. The volume of damage in different towns varies up to 80%. Talking about the population, unfortunately, it decreased with 8 million of people, in addition to the 20% of territories that now are out of our control. These two factors significantly impacted the economy and culture of my country. And it's important to say that 80% of that people who fled Ukraine were females in average age of 40, accompanied by 1 or 2 kids. This may cause a decline in innovation in future, as a falling population also lowers the rate of innovation initiatives, since change tend to come from younger people and entrepreneurs. Nevertheless, our further discussion will be around the urban environmental sustainability in Ukraine in general and Slavutic city in particular. My sincere congratulations to the city for being chosen as a subject for this year's competition. The city was purpose-built many years ago for the evacuated personnel from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant after the 1986 disaster that occurred near Pripyat. Maybe some of you have watched the HBO series Chernobyl. It was one of the youngest and the most proactive community before the war, and it is still strongly connected to the Chernobyl exclusion zone. As for today, around 30% of that population of Slavutic migrated, and infrastructure near Slavutic completely destroyed. If we zero in the Slavutic community, we will understand that even though the war is still ongoing, they already are building strategies of what they will do after the war. Despite all obstacles, local government is working towards reaching the ambitious targets of decreasing their emissions up to 40% before 2030. The following projects were presented by the Slavutic authorities at Rebuild Ukraine 2023 forum hosted in Poland. So the first one was Polyclinica, aiming to repurpose and transfer abandoned health facilities into a business, residence and housing for internally displaced people. The second is North Ukrainian Nuclear Science Hub to support the development of a scientific and business ecosystem in the field of nuclear and green energy in Ukraine. The third is Eco-Industrial Development Zone Slavutic, the new growing point of the region's economy. The goal is to implement a powerful tool of social economic growth and to ensure the industrial development of the region. And the last but not least, Slavutic Rehab Center, with the idea to create rehabilitation center in the northern part of Ukraine with state-of-the-art materials and medical equipment for military and civilian people. All these initiatives will be carefully planned and implemented with the respect of sustainable development goals. Potentially, Slavutic may follow the suit of other cities that adopted successful roadmaps of sustainable urbanism. So let's have a look at the bigger picture. Different projects are in different stages on implementation in Ukraine. For example, memorandum for the Euro cities with the support of the European Climate Foundation aim to make the transition to sustainable construction more smooth and all-encompassing, covering topics of waste management to include liquid radioactive waste, inclusivity of disabled people, and accessibility to all infrastructure. Vinnytsia became the first city that signed the memorandum on New Green Deal. This project covers a lot of activities, one of which is to increase awareness of the climate change, to talk about green and blue infrastructural elements like planting greenery and regenerative practices in agriculture. In addition, electrical public transportation, unfortunately not a self-driving yet, is a trend that is gaining traction, and we already have such opportunity in Khmelnytsky. The Covenant of Mayors supports cities in achieving their sustainable energy and climate goals, and by signing up for the initiative, local authorities committed to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions as increasing their use of renewable energies. One of the core documents that Segni had to develop and submit was the Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan. Key topics that needed to be addressed included mobilizing resources, adapting municipal structures, collecting baseline data, and developing baseline emission inventories. So, Ukraine will see a fundamental transformation from the of the country industries to low-carbon technology and energy efficiency after the war. So here are some great examples that are designed to use the best sustainable practices while rebuilding cities. The first one is the Recreate Ukraine project, and everyone can participate by submitting their ideas online. This example is on your left, is for the destroyed state administration in Mykolaiv. The second picture is Urban Recovery Guide, which includes the best global practices for designing and creating comfortable cities. The third is Zaha Hadid Architect, right there. And they designed the unique master plan proposal for Odessa Expo 2030, in case my native city will be chosen for the World Exhibition. This project is very unique because it could be reused after the end of the exhibition, and every part can be repurposed. The last picture represents the map of potential of green energy, and it was done as a part of the project Wise Europe initiative. And there are plenty of other opportunities to engage with the international communities and all stakeholders. Here are the challenges that Ukrainian society will face after the war. So firstly, urban recovery implies a human-centric focus on every stage. Cities are created by people, for people, and used by people. We need to make sure that we follow the principles of inclusivity and accessibility. At the same time, human capital is the key to the development of cities and the country. The state and cities shall actively build and impact people's aspiration to return, because small towns affected by destruction will find themselves in an especially vulnerable situation, as former citizens will be less likely to return without the encouragement and reconstruction of critical infrastructure. Also, the role of youth should not be underestimated. The young leaders are future decision makers, and they drive change. Thus, it is very important to engage with them. Secondly, to increase the capacity of green transformation is a key. Local offices should be created in each region. This will help to implement the ideas agreed upon the conference in Lugano, where it was proposed to restore cities in Ukraine on a country-city basis. And as of now, we have already 70 countries that agreed to patronize some cities that were destroyed during the war. Lastly, it is funding. The amount needed is staggering. So the World Bank stated in September 2022 that the estimated cost of rebuilding Ukraine will be 350 billion, and now they calculated the impact of the full year of the war, and the final number will be due in April, but as of now, the rough number of 600 billion is discussed. Surely the central and local government in Ukraine should find a way to fill the budget, but it is very hard to plan some social-economic development of territories with the destruction of critical infrastructure, business relocation, losses, and migration. The balance should be found between the period of reconstruction and making sure that everything is sustainable and environmental friendly. Additionally, financial support of the international community will be vital for post-war period for Ukraine. plan for post-war reconstruction is still under development by our government, by international partners, civil societies, and experts. The only thing we need to ensure that the reconstruction process is based on green principles. And I really hope that one day welfare in my country will be healthier, easier, faster, and the environment greener, safer, and smarter. Thank you very much.